Hello and welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. This is Benji, and today we're watching a live duel between my brother and myself as we are trapped in quarantine. I managed to build two decks. We're doing a dice roll. He rolled a 6, and I rolled a 2. He will be opting to go first. He is playing a Subterror deck, and I am playing an Infernoid deck. There are some proxies. One of the things I planned on doing before quarantine in New York kind of began is I planned on printing proxies of some bigger cards I didn't have. This was before the release of Secret Slayer, so I don't have Adamantia or Adamantipator or what do you call it, Eldritch. Anyways, my brother's going to start off playing Potted Duality. Has the choice between Call by the Grave, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and Solemn Judgment. He's holding a ton of hand traps, and he said he wanted to represent that he might have Fiendus. So I, of course, took the bait. He Fienduses me. He uses the effect of Ooze Mastrix to summon itself because the activation of Mystic Mind was negated. So the last thing that happened was the flipping face down of the Subterror. So I set one in pass. He'll open with a Pot of Extravagance. There aren't too many cards I would set in my deck. It's either a Void Feast or it is a Infinite Impermanence. Potentially, I guess a Twin Twister is also a possibility. He's going to declare battle with both cards. I drew into two of my Dark Ruler No Mores, which I main deck specifically for combo decks. He'll set 2, including a Subterror Guru face down and another set card face down. I know he has Ash in hand, so he has a reason to negate, but at the same time, in a lot of cases, it's better to negate the Void Feast because at least it wastes the Void Banishment. I set my feast, and I pass. Now, I believe I have 2 feasts, which is a way to play around Ash. So I try to activate it now. I do make a technical misplay. I really should activate the feast he's aware of first, followed by the second one. This is to make sure he didn't have a Fiendus to negate the second one. Of course, he has Judgment. He pays half his life points, but he's got game on board, so I scoop. We're going into game 2, and I'm actually a little annoyed at myself in this game. I make an illegal play, but after reworking the play, I actually determined I could have perform the same OTK in this game if I didn't make the illegal play. It was possible to do the play, although I really shouldn't be able to take it back. I really should have proceeded another way. So I am going to win this game, but I'm going to do it with an OTK that couldn't be done. So he activates Hidden City after resolving Pot of Extravagance, searches Guru. He's going to set Guru, and then use the effect of Hidden City to flip it face up, and search Fiendus to his hand. I could see in his hand he has Solemn Strike, Solemn Judgment. He's also got Subterror Fiendus, Infinite Impermanence, and I didn't catch the last card. So he's got DD Crow and Fiendus in his hand. I activate Void Banishment. I will activate Spectre Search for Void Feast, which he doesn't currently have a reason to stop. One of my regular things to do against Subterror is to just slowly search feasts until I can resolve 1 or additional cards. But I set 4. Maybe it wasn't Judgment. He activates Heavy Storm Duster. I think I thought that was Judgment. He hits my sided in Witch's Strike and Red Reboot. So I side in Red Reboot and Witch's Strike for these matchups. I just let my opponent go first and set Solemns in the hopes that they'll negate something, and then I can just win the game by Solemn Striking. I activate Void Purification, which is a card I play, most people don't play. He uses his DD Crow because he doesn't see much other opportunity to use it. He puts his Guru in attack and doubles his attack. So he opts for more damage rather than setting it face down to get a search on the following turn. But I guess I have Feast face down, so he can't do anything. So I put back the Atondel Purification, and this is where my illegal play starts. I discard my Entra to search for Void Feast, which technically isn't an illegal play, but I, at some point in this sequence, start attempting to link summon because I forget that I made this play, because I search the feast because there's nothing better to really search in my deck, not because I desperately needed to search it. So I could have performed a very similar play without activating the Banishment. Pretty much I would just have the Entra in my hand instead of the Void Feast that I searched, and I would have banished the Atondel instead of the Entra. Anyways, he's going to Solemn Strike the Decatron. I'm going to send Prometheus, and I'm going to target the set Guru, because the idea is not to let it get flip face up. He's going to Imperm. I'm going to tribute the Patrula. This gives me the right amount of Infernoids I need to OTK in my graveyard, regardless of what cards are there. So he's only got a set final battle, and no live cards in his hand otherwise. So I'm going to summon a Tondel here. So this will be the difference to make my play legal. I could have not activated the Banishment earlier in the turn. I would have summoned Antra instead. Then I would have actually been able to make this play with the Antra and the Sajet to bounce the Decatron in my hand, normal summon it, activate, send Harmodic, pop the Guru, then summon instead of a Tondel, I would have had to summon Sajet here. So I would have had the possible monsters to make this play. I wouldn't have actually made the Phoenix, but I also had no real reason to pop the cards he has on the board. I would have just wanted the Boral Sword here and then summoned back the Sajet and attacked for game. But this play wound up working, even though it's illegal, because I drew an Infernoid. So I got a fluky win I didn't deserve this way, whereas I could have gotten a legit win. Although realistically, who knows if we would have went back to that point. I would have possibly just set the 2 feasts and not summon the Petrula, because I only put the Petrula there to try and to get the Guru face down so that I wouldn't get negated by a Fiendus. Alright, anyways, going on to Game 3, that really shouldn't have happened, although who knows how Game 2 would have went if we actually continued to play it out. We continue to side deck. Jordan will go first, and he will set 5. I will activate Gizmek. I recall this Gizmek being a big deal in this game because I banished 2 Void Feasts face down. And I do play 3, even though I am going second. I got a Galaxy Cyclone. I think I hit Solemn Strike. Alright, so I'm going to start off with Decatron. Probably trying to pick off the back row one at a time. He is only playing with 5 cards. Another Solemn Strike, he pays 15, and Decatron is destroyed. I attack with Gizmek, brings him down to 4,050 life points. I'll set 1 and pass, and he will activate Stormduster. He has to be concerned about me having things like Witcher Strike, so he can't let cards sit there. I just try to set Feast in case I drew a Void card off the top of my deck. Now he doesn't actually play the Subterror deck, so I don't think the correct play is to actually double the attack or increase the attack. I think he should have crashed and got Oozmastrix, so he could flip it face down and flip it face up and banish the Gizmek. But again, he doesn't normally play Subterrors. I just wanted someone to do a video with, so I asked him if he played the deck. So I had the deck built. But I told him what play he should have done, and he considered how to make that play in the future. So at the moment, I have 1 Decatron in Graveyard. I'm going to open with the Gizmek to pop the Archer. I don't know what he's going to go into. I probably shouldn't have even done that. The attack would have accomplished the same thing, but at least now I force out the banish so I can make decisions without getting banished later. Although I couldn't really get over the defense of Oozmastrix either. I'm going to banish the Decatron, the Sajet from my hand, and 1 more Infernoid to summon Anoku to destroy his Oozmastrix. This is just not necessarily a push for damage, but if I didn't want to summon Anoku right away and float him into Guru face down, because then when I attack into Guru, he would have gotten a search. He top decks Terraforming. I make technical misplay. I should have really waited for him to search Hidden City and then negated Hidden City. That way he'd have 1 less card he could top deck later on in the game. I top deck Evenly Matched, so we're both passing back and forth. He draws into Fiendus, uses its effect to set a card, and he has the option between Oozmastrix and Archer. Now, Archer gives him a little bit more freedom to survive whether or not I would break his board again, who can get to his Guru. He's beating me down slowly, so he attacks. He does the... he used his final battle to flip him face up. At the end of the battle phase, I get to use my Evenly Matched, and he has to make a decision on what card he wants to keep. He's going to keep Archer because it can keep applying pressure while at the same time setting him up to find Guru. I top deck a Rekindling, and of course I had to banish my Decatron from Graveyard. Not live at the moment. Jordan draws a card and he attacks, sets a card face down. So I'm drawing dead cards. Oh, I draw Void Banishment. What a wonderful card. It would be useful if he didn't already Stormduster 1 of my Void Feasts and the other 2 get banished face down by Gizmek Orochi, so I'll have to search Void Purification to try and get my Decatron back in the graveyard. Oh, well, I got the Rekindling used, so I think I opt to add back my the Infernoid, just discard. I think it was a Tondel. And next turn I'll try and put my Petrula back in the graveyard so I can try and use it to pop some cards. Jordan's trying to decide on a play to make. I've been cutting most of the dead time between plays. Let me know if you enjoy that. He attacks, but he doesn't tap the card, so there's no visual cue that occurred. So he opts to attack and then just set 1. Guess he didn't want to get evenly matched again, although I don't have it on the field this time, so he could have set first. Not that you should ever really do that. I'll be returning Patrula to the graveyard. I don't have a lot of attack points left, so I really don't have like a good play. I try to thin the deck. I discard to... it was Inoku I had a deck. I discard Inoku to add Imagination with the only purpose of thinning my deck. I set a card. It was a top deck Witch's Strike, so I pass to Jordan. He draws for turn. He draws, I believe it's either Hidden City or Guru, so either way it is a monster. So that is Hidden City, which is going to get him Guru. I have no reason to continue playing. I concede. But I guess I really should have lost this match because I made an illegal play and I'm a little annoyed at myself. I was just on a podcast. You might want to check that out. I'll link it over here. And I actually was complaining that I feel like sometimes players bring their decks to tournaments knowing that how their deck works and then still making illegal plays intentionally just because they can get away with it. You know, I didn't do it on purpose here, but, you know, by the time I got to the end of the play, I forgot I'd even searched the card because it wasn't relevant to what I was doing, with the exception that I couldn't actually make my play. Anyways, have a great day.